Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Bobby. I'm a part-time reseller in Northern Virginia, and this is my second video. I'm trying to catch up on a few things here. I just got the intro video out, so I'm excited about that. But right now I want to go ahead and I want to jump in and just give you an overview. May just ended for me, so I want to go over my top 10 sales for May and kind of explain where I got these items from and what I was thinking when I bought them and kind of like my mindset going through it. And if you guys see anything, please comment down below. Let me know if I missed something, or share your experience with the same product. And maybe if I, short sold it, or maybe if I thought if I could have maybe held on to it longer, it would have been a better sale for me. Any suggestions, great. I'm here for the community. I want to, share my story, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, let's go ahead and start with this first item, wooden letters. So when I go to Goodwill, there's always a section, the 3 Goodwills that I frequent quite often, there's a section that has wooden letters and, well, pretty much all wooden made items. And so what I like to do is I like to peruse that. My undergrad degree is in art, graphic design to be exact, but it's an art degree. And so I took some art classes back in the day and kind of saw the benefit of like hand carved letters and stuff like that. So Goodwill every once in a while has like monogram wooden letters that I like to pick up, and I like to get the ones that are larger in size, because people like to put these on their walls, for baby rooms, or some people even put them on their front doors as the last, the first letter of their last name. So whenever I see a wooden letter, I always jump for it. So right here you can see this was a letter B. This was actually one of the larger ones that I have purchased since doing this, and it's 17 inches, and it was already painted. It was originally like a white color, and you can tell there's a little bit of chipping in some of the areas. I picked it up. I think I paid probably about $3.99 for this. So selling it for $27, I charged full shipping on it, and it worked out. So it was a great sale. All right, let's go to the next one here. So this is a football jersey. I'm from the Northern Virginia area. The Redskins are the team. Well, now the Washington football team is the team. And so Darryl Green is a former player here and Hall of Famer, I believe. Great defensive end maybe, or probably a safety. I couldn't remember where he probably finished on safety, but regardless, I saw this jersey in one of the local Goodwills, and they had it. I had 20% off. It was like $4.99, so I paid around $3 for it, or a little bit over $3. It was great. I actually wanted to keep this for myself, so I priced it a little high. It wasn't a stitched jersey. It was an NFL official jersey, but it was just like a screen print, and it's one of those things, they don't make these anymore. As you can tell, this was made by Reebok. Reebok doesn't have the contract anymore, Nike does now. So this is a an older jersey, and it was actually my size as well. So excuse me. And so what I did was I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put it at $60, because a lot of them were going around 40. And so it's one of those things, it wasn't really sentimental to me, but I thought if I overpriced it and it got purchased, it wouldn't be that bad, So what I did was I put it at 60, buy it now, free shipping, and ended up actually going into Maryland, fairly close to me. So I think I ended up paying, like, it was first class. It was like, $3 or $4 to get up there, and great find, great sale. And if I do come across another one, I probably will not sell it. So there's that. So here's another good sale that I had. I actually posted this on my Instagram. So if you go to my Instagram, it's @sellingup. And I have a post about this. So what happened was I was going at lunchtime and I ran into one of the local Goodwills, and they were in the middle of doing kind of like a shelf switch over on this one aisle. And so they had a bunch of carts out with bins, and there were two employees that were kind of going through it, and then someone called them into the back of the Goodwill. And so I saw them go through the doors, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go just kind of look in the bins really quick. And so for the most part, the bins there wasn't anything special in there, but this one, this cologne was actually in the bottom of one of them, and I could see it, and it was taped up in a certain way, and it was up for $8.99. And so I looked at it. It was in a box, but the box was only half there. It was like a 2-piece box. I was only half a box there, and it was like taped inside. And so I passed on it. I went walking around, and then the employees ended up putting it out. And so I believe I remember it was I was watching Part-Time Pickers actually the week before, and he had picked up some perfume. And he said, this stuff's worth looking up if you see it, especially if it's full in bottle. And so what I did was, after I kind of perused and walked around, I came back to it, and sure enough, I looked up the exact bottle, and they were going for, brand new in the box, they were going for around $150 to $175. So I knew there was some money to be made there at $8.99. So I went ahead, I picked it up. It probably sat, I don't know, about a month I had this. And, after a while, it ended up selling, and, I'm pretty happy with what I got here. So that was another good one. All right, so let's move over to Facebook now. I was just showing you some of my eBay sales. Lately, Facebook has been way better for me, and I've done probably more, 75% of my business on Facebook. And what I tend to do is, because the fees are a little bit lower, I list the stuff on Facebook first, and then I take about a week, and then I list it on eBay. So I'm giving people on Facebook the opportunity to kind of pay for it. I kind of list it a little bit lower, knowing that the fees aren't, going to be so large, and it gives my margins a little bit more, space. And then they go onto eBay. So this is a pair. This was a pair of vintage Nike Zoom 6.0 SBs. So like, these are skateboarding shoes that Nike made, and these are actually, it was a retro collab they did. And I don't know much more about it. I actually reposted this. I copied someone's post on eBay to get the info, and then copied it over to Facebook. But funny story, so I posted these on, I don't know, probably like a Thursday night around 8 o'clock. And by 8:30, I had two people message me and ask me for, more information on them. And I just told them, I said, listen, these are, shoes that I picked up locally, and I don't know much about them. And the one guy asked, he said, okay, well, you have them for 100. Is there any way you could do 90 on them? And I said, yeah, sure, I could do 90. And he said, okay, I have another question. Can you send them out tomorrow? I'm going on a trip, and I'd love to have these shoes. And so I said, yeah, no problem. So I actually boxed them up that night and sent them out. And so, getting, $10 less than what I was expecting was fine. Considering I paid, I think these ended up being $9. So, and I had 20% off. So, it was a pretty good pickup. So I was happy with that. And so, if you see Nike skateboarding shoes, I think any kind of shoes that are Nike, you should look up, but especially skateboarding shoes. And, these had a little detail on the tongue that stood out to me. So I had to at least look it up. Not a whole lot of sold comps, but I did pick it up, and I'm glad I did. So here's another epic Goodwill find. So any racing material, I've learned, when it comes to either NASCAR or dirt bike, any kind of car memorabilia in a way is really good stuff to pick up. And this was a jacket. This was like a satin jacket that I immediately ran over to as soon as I saw the satin. And then when I saw the Ford Racing, I had to pick it up. It said XXL on the inside, but I'm an XL. I'm a pretty big guy, and so I tried it on, and it actually fit perfect. So I do have XXL in the title, but I did talk to the person before I sent them out. I said, hey, listen, it says XXL, but it's more like an XL. I can give you the measurements. He asked for the measurements. I gave them to him. He goes, actually, that's pretty much what I'm looking for. And when he got it, he was pleased with it. So it was one of those things where the tag, the picture that I took said XXL, but then the sizing was XL. So it's one of those things, you don't want to misrepresent what you have, but I took the extra step to go ahead and explain to the guy before I sent it out, and he was cool with it. And I haven't done a return on Facebook yet, so I don't know how that works, but I was fully expecting to learn at this point. So anyway, this was, like I said, it was a great pickup. Got full asking price. I just asked $59, and the guy paid up, and he had free shipping because Facebook was doing a deal at this time where shipping was free. So we both won on that one in a way, and he was pleased with it and left me positive feedback. Moving on, this is a North Face jacket, just a typical Denali. This is a rather newer Denali. I noticed because the cuffs were like an elastic material. And the thing about this jacket was that there was branding on the arm from a local construction company. And there was actually a couple of these jackets, well, not these jackets, but there was other jackets there with the same branding that I passed on. But I knew Denali's, when I was in college, Denali's were like what everyone had, and that's what everyone wanted. And I feel like today it's still like North Face is still a pretty good brand that you want to pick up. Now, I have a couple that I'm sitting on right now, like women's jackets that I'm not, like Apex jackets that I'm not really pleased with, and they've been sitting for a while. I'm hoping that, after the summer they come back out and I can get some, at least get my money back on them. But this one right now, this one was $7. And then I had another 20% off after that. So this was a great pickup. I was a little nervous about the branding. So I only listed it for $60. I probably could have gotten $75 for it, but this one was another one that was free shipping. So, the buyer worked out, it worked out for the buyer, and it also worked out for me. All right, here's another Goodwill find. I remember it was after work one day. I swung by Goodwill and just to see, what they had out, and this was sitting in the back, and it was underneath. I'm pretty sure it was underneath a couple of bowling balls, and so I pulled it out, and I got kind of excited. I played baseball when I was younger, and all the way through high school, and then I played some, college ball, just summer league college ball, and so I'm pretty familiar with some of the brands and some of the codes that you'll see on the gloves. This one, Louisville Slugger, not like your premier glove, but it's also not a glove that you're really going to pass on. This one was big enough that it crossed over for like a baseball / softball. And I remember the guy who purchased it asked me, he's like, "Is there any way you can ship it overnight? Because I have a softball game later this week." And I said, I won't ship it overnight because Facebook doesn't have that ability for you to go in and charge extra and whatnot. And he said, I couldn't figure it out. So what I did was I said, "Listen, I will drop it priority. You'll get it in 2 to 3 days, guaranteed, and you'll be fine." He said, "Okay, we'll work with that." And so he said, like I said, he was using it for softball. So this was a great pickup, for $45. I think it was like $2.99. So here's another baseball glove right here, and this is the Rawlings brand. And so Rawlings is a great brand. They're pretty strong. They retain their value fairly well. And this one was another one. It was a 13-inch glove, which it kind of crosses over from baseball to softball. You could use either one. And so this one sold. I remember this one sold within a day for $44. I don't know why I priced it at $44. It's so random. But yeah. So this was great. Being able to sell on Facebook and within a day, and then it was out the door. So definitely look out for Rawlings, especially in this condition. It's a great glove. So here's the FootJoy pullover. This is another one that I may have probably sold a little too cheap. I listed it like on a Friday morning, and by like lunchtime it was gone. And I actually had 2 guys reach out to me after I had already sold it, because what happens is when someone buys something to you, it says, or when someone buys something from you, it says pending until you actually ship it. And there's an actual shipping confirmation, and there's a tracking number tied to it. So on other people's computers, what they see is it's pending, and so they reach out and they say, "Listen, if this thing doesn't end up selling, let me know because I'm interested." It was a really nice jacket. It was pretty heavy. It was more of like a rain jacket. It definitely repels water. So it was a great jacket to pick up. Pristine condition. I don't even think it was even worn. I would guess that it was probably gifted, and they just decided they didn't want it. So that was a great one. All right, and the last one. This is more of like a I don't know, kind of a learning moment for me and maybe for you as well. So I went to Goodwill and I saw this action figure, and it was actually in a group of multiple action figures. And what I did was I actually used the Google app, when you look up, I think it's called Google Glass. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll try to comment below if I mess that up. But on the Google app, you can take a picture of something and it scans it and it looks all over the internet and tells you what it is. So I'm not a big Marvel guy. My kids are into it, but I had no idea who this guy was. So I ended up scanning it. His name was Vision. And what was interesting about it was I noticed it came with another character, which was a woman, and I'm not gonna remember her name now, and I feel bad about that. So I'll comment that below. But it was a set. And I do recall being in the moment and kind of like seeing all the toys, and I said, okay, well this guy goes for $30 on his own, so like I'll just grab it, not even thinking, well, it comes in a set, so you probably should have grabbed the other one, which the other one was there. So I ended up going home that evening, and when I went to go post it, I realized at that point, oh, it comes in a set. So the very next morning at 10 o'clock, I went straight to that Goodwill. I was the first person in line when they opened up, and I ran straight back there, and that character was gone. So kind of a bummer, but you know, at the end of the day, I still, you know, I paid like $1 for this, so getting 26 out of it. It was also free shipping during this time as well when this was purchased. So you know, it didn't bother me, you know, making the $25 profit there. Well, after fees, you know, it's 24, 20, you know, 23. So anyway, that's my May. That's just a quick recap of kind of the bigger items in May. There's about 10 of them that we went over. And this is me kind of getting into hopefully a rhythm where I'll end up starting out doing every other week posting, and because I'm off every other Friday. And so my goal was to kind of do a recap every other Friday and then post it here on the channel and try to get into some other topics. And so, you know, go easy on me. Thanks for coming by and watching. I hope that you guys stay to the end, and look forward to doing a few more. All right. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys later.